Hello everybody, I want to welcome you once again to the Insight platform. Today I'm going to be introducing to you the first Insight podcast. Now firstly, as you already know, my name is Onuoha, the founder of Insight for Real. And I've decided to bring to you the people who work tirelessly behind the scene so you can understand their story and why they are fully invested in Insight. Today we'll be interviewing our first podcast guest, no other person than my brother, my friend, someone who's worked tirelessly to make sure Insight is a dream come true. Someone who's ensured that you get the videos and inspiration you get on weekly and daily basis. He's no other person than my brother, Fraser. Hello, Fraser.
Hello, Knowledge. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for joining our podcast today. Of course, there are a lot of things I like to speak to you about. However, let's start by telling the audience who you are, what you do, and how you've managed to get to where you are in life before we start getting into more details.
Probably a lot of hard work, I guess. Very slow movement, commitment, I guess. I started off, I worked in retail for a lot of years, customer service, and I enjoyed that. I was training manager at one point, and I started a business at that stage because I didn't quite. I was promised more than I was getting, so I changed my trajectory and started working for my own projects, and I enjoyed that. And I guess it kept basically taking me where I went to after that. So, which was started laser engraving. Well, first off, hand engraving using a drill on mirrors, and I was fortunate enough to go to number 10 Downing Street with that and show off my work.
I'd like to talk about that at some point. I'd like to talk about that and throw more light into that. How you managed to meet the Prime Minister himself?
Well, at the time, it was David Cameron at the time, yeah, and more luck than judgment. As most things are. More,
opportunities comes when hard work meets with, the
opportunity wouldn't have come if I hadn't put the hard work
in.
Sure. So, I took up the opportunity at the time. That business was what pushed me towards design in general, graphic design, web design, all that stuff. I reworked my website and all my other assets continuously, and got better at what I did from there, which pushed me into my next career path, which was designing coffee products and labels and
amazing. Now, for all of you listening, if you must know, Fraser is the one who taught me how to edit my videos. He provided me with software Insight when I decided to begin Insight. And this is interesting. I've never had the opportunity to actually ask you, because when I kicked off the dream Insight, a lot of people supported me because of what they stand to get from it, because either the financial whole thing or what they wanted to get from me. But you committed yourself without any charge. I want to understand what exactly motivated you into investing your time, your resource, and a lot of time, even your money. I remember when we went to London to snap pictures at Stratford, you didn't charge anything, you didn't ask for any payment, you committed your whole day, you left your family, we went to London, took pictures, you directed the whole thing. What exactly motivated you into doing this?
I don't know.
Is it just who you are? Is it just who you are? Or was there something about Insight?
I see a lot of potential in what you do, and I quite liked how you had your commitment in there, as well as, it's nice to work with other people, and I don't think you don't always get something initially. It's like as you rise up, the levels rise up with you. It's nice to bring people with you and help other people along your way as well. And I found a way of learning. There was a lot of learning. What I was doing there, when I was kind of helping you creating your videos and your photography in London, I had never done anything like that before. So I didn't know the value of it or anything. I was enjoying what I was
doing. You were learning too.
I was learning too. So it wasn't like I was giving my time like from a fully experienced point of view. It was something to do, and I saw potential in what it could bring. And it was a great day out as well. So
I like that. See, my mentor will always say, Les Brown, by the way, will always say, you cannot sprinkle perfume on others without the droplets dropping on you. So you mean in trying to help Insight, in trying to invest yourself and support Insight, you too were learning, you were growing.
Yes.
The book of life says, scatter your bread upon the waters, and after many days you'll find it. And so far, with all the investment, how have Insight benefited you?
Benefit me? Well, I'm still growing with you. I'm still teaching you how to do new stuff. I get a lot of satisfaction from people taking what I have taught them and making it better and improving it themselves. You've done a lot of things that if you're only one person, you can't do you can only do so much. But if you can impart knowledge to other people, then you can see every time you post a video or you've done something else within that video to improve the quality and the message, I feel like I've set you on the way for doing that. It's very difficult to explain, really. It's a weird satisfaction where I can look upon
investing in people.
Exactly that. Investing in people, and it doesn't have to be taxing, doesn't have to be monetary. It was time in this instance, and it's great to see how that's kind of propelled you in your direction. So
absolutely.
you've got a long road still. You're still going down that road.
Yep, we're still going.
Yeah, you'll keep going.
We're still going. You know, they say the greatest investment you could ever make in life is an investment in people. You know, you're investing in people, and you know, one way or the other, it rubs off, it comes back. And the truth is, down the line, every time there is challenge, every time we need something, the first person that comes to mind is Fraser. And of course, you know, right now you're working on our website. Again, you're rebuilding our website, going through over close to 100 videos we've done over the years. It's crazy where we started and where we are today. So let's talk about Fraser. You're a young man who's been successful in different things you've done. You've met the Prime Minister. I'm talking about Prime Minister of the UK. That is something most of us haven't achieved. You know, what drives you?
Drives me? I don't know. I want to provide. I've got a family, so I want to provide for my family. That's an obvious driver. But as far as anything goes, it's learning, it's growing, it's becoming better at various skill sets that you take your mind to, and just being, I don't know, filling time. Just generally, I can't stand idle very easily. I struggle not to do something. Like if I go around someone's place, unless I'm committed to staying there and it's almost designated fun time, I got to build something while I'm there, or help them with something, or try and work on something. I struggle to sit still. And for even my own spare time, if I'm not trying to learn something, I have to do something else on Photoshop or Premiere Pro, InDesign, or if I can't sit there and put my mind into something, I struggle to stand idle. So I think it's the commitment of not being able to actually sit still, which is the problem. I like to do stuff, and it provides interesting scenarios. I'm always learning. I'm meeting new people. I'm helping them grow as well. Sometimes they go really far, which is great, and I'm growing too. So I'm to get my own stuff done at the same time. So
it's
very difficult to come down to what drives you.
To pin it to one thing.
Because you could say, I like making money. But that's not the be all and end all. That's only half the story. There's easier ways to make money, but it's not always the same. It's not interesting. So you could be stuck in a business for a very long time doing required work, being paid very well for it, but not enjoying yourself, not enjoying your time. And a lot of people bolt on assets that cost them a lot of money to kind of run, and their lifestyle kind of chases up with them to the point where they're trapped in a job, and they don't have that flexibility anymore. They are working to sustain the lifestyle, but their lifestyle literally is almost a prison. They can't drop from that, and the thing they're spending most of their time on at work is 40, 50 plus hours a week. That's no way to live in my book. You're not, especially if you're just doing the same thing. So I like to do different stuff. And
I like that. So we've got to create a world we love, so we can love the world we've created.
Yeah.
So in all of this, you're trying to create the ideal world for yourself, for your family, so you can love it. And the thing is, this is interesting because, every time I've spoken to you, every time we've had a conversation, I take something from it. Not everybody inspires me like that. I don't enjoy talking to people. Those who know me, I talk a lot, but I select those I speak to. There are people you speak to, and at the end of that conversation, you get nothing from it. And it will shock you to know that you're one of those who inspire me, because every time I speak to you, I'm taking something out of that conversation.
I'm not the best speaker. I'm all over the place. But
but that's the thing.
Information everywhere.
Sometimes at the middle of the night, we're exchanging chats on, Messenger, on WhatsApp, we're communicating, and you randomly run into videos and things. You're like, oh, have a look at this. You're going to learn something from this. And that's exactly what I'm looking for in life. And you say, surround yourself with the right people, only quality people, because if you fail to surround yourself with the right people, you're going down. There's no sustainability. But this other thing, because the media today, as we have it, tend to show us the so-called people they call successful in life, and it makes life look like there's no struggle. You started from the bottom. They say all of us start from scratch, but some people will continue to scratch for the rest of their life. Now, you started just like me, we started from scratch, but today you're a director of your company, you're doing well in life. Has there been challenges you faced, juggling all of this, juggling family, and then still trying to reach that place of your dream while still being the nice guy you are, making sure everyone around you gets motivated, keep growing? How do you juggle all of this? What are the challenges?
Challenges is always time, but it's how you spend your time. You've got I realize as you pack on more, as you grow older, I have 2 children now and a wife and a home and those responsibilities, you realize your time. I remember leaving school at, say, 3:15 and almost having an infinite amount of time in my book from 3:15 to about 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I miss that because it was time, in most respects, misspent. But you don't have that now, so it's all about cramming as much stuff in and organising your time as efficiently as possible. I don't believe that you can multitask, so you're just
prioritize what's important.
You're splitting everything up into smaller categories, so you end up doing 6 things really badly. So I try to focus my day and my time into small chunks of what I'm going to do. But when I say I'm going to spend 2 hours on something, I'll dedicate.
You commit yourself to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for 2 hours. Likewise with my family. When it's family time, watch a film, or if we could take them out to the park or something, I dedicate that time that I try to leave my phone away or just focus on the kids and wife and enjoy that whole stage.
That right there is key, because a lot of people in life, will go through life, we are at this very moment, or in this moment, we're doing something else. You see a lot of people in the world we live in today, they are out for dinner, but they are snapping pictures to carry those, to put on social media. Yeah. So you're not fully committed to that moment. How can you be enjoying it when you're not committed to it? Because if you're truly enjoying it, you won't have the time to do all of those. And it's kind of a sad thing in the world we live in today. I do feel
sorry for some people that get into a career path where their whole lives are on offer at all times, and you end up living life for other people, and you're taking photos or putting yourself into the picture all the time. But sometimes, like when you see people go to, I saw a really good one recently. Remind me when people are sitting in videos of Elton John from their camera that no one else is going to watch, because it's
you're missing the moment.
Yeah, you're missing your moment for you.
You paid to be there.
There's enough videos of Elton John. No one's going to watch your video, or really care. So that's when you realise that what you're doing there, you're building your ego. All you're doing is showing, look where I am. And is that what life do you want to live like that? Nobody really cares.
Nobody really cares.
To most extent, everyone else is a background character in your life, whereas I don't want to be like that. Hence why I try to give as much of my open free time to other people as possible, but we're generally working on stuff that makes them happy, makes them grow in some way. Whereas trying to just share frames of you being in a certain place, I find it could be quite empty in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah,
especially when you realise, I came from a background of, I didn't have a lot of things growing up, but I work and I try picking up bits as I go. But you realise when I was doing some of it, I did it for the wrong reasons at one time. I did it to show off, to say, look where I am now. But when you realise that people don't really care. No. And you have to end up going, what am I doing it for? And you end up doing it for you, and you find things that you enjoy.
Absolutely.
So I could be in a back-end job, buy a really big house just because I'm working all the hours under the sun for a firm where I'm a number, but you might get paid well for it. But are you enjoying that? Are you enjoying the humdrum of that life? And that's the point where you have to think, you've only got a finite amount of time. Spend it doing something that you want to do, and hopefully with enough energy and enough the right people around you, you can make a living doing that.
Absolutely.
And I think in the whole influencer stage, you lose a lot of yourself. So
absolutely.
I'd never want to be the face of a brand, too much of a face of a brand. Yeah, it can be a face of a brand, but I don't want my life to be intruded on.
Moderating it and finding that balance. Because the truth of the matter is sometimes we get carried away, and the truth is in life, people don't care what you get or what you do. What they care about is what they get from it. So when you spend all your time, you now take yourself from the director of your life to a place where you're just a participator, or you're trying to carry everybody along, trying to please everybody. You lose the whole essence of living a life. Yeah. Because your life is then being directed by others. And I believe that's what your point is. is now you've managed to find that niche where you're happy. This is what you're happy doing, and you're excelling at it. That's amazing. Now, for the young generation out there who seem to be struggling with, this whole social media thing, this whole, one day they are hit with challenges. How did you overcome the challenges you faced? Let's pick one example, just whatever comes to mind. One of your most challenging days and how you overcame it.
Oh boy.
Let's narrow it down so we can give our audience something to take away.
I think at all times there was a challenge. Probably one of my first businesses back to Mirrors by Design, as it was when I was first off started hand engraving. Then I grew the business very, very quickly. I spent a lot of money increasing it to do laser engraving, but I hadn't really seeded the product too well. I spent too much money on machinery and trying to perfect the product that I kept on going in one direction. But the biggest challenge was I was looking through a photo frame at what I wanted, but I failed to step back and look at the bigger picture. I had invested into laser engraving machinery, big old machinery that can cut through wood and wherever I want, really. And I kept on doing the same product, and that product wasn't selling. And it's understanding, I blame myself for the failure of the business overall, but it was at the time I couldn't see what other things I could do. So my biggest failure there was just not, and everyone was telling me,
put a pin on that. Now, they say you can never see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yeah.
And I recall when I started Inside too, I made the same mistake. I remember you gave me that advice and say, you may want to focus on this category of people, this part of the world. But I was too focused on a certain area. It took me a few years down the line to realize that, this thing, Fraser, this advice is genuine, it's the right thing. And we're talking the last time we spoke, and you realize I've refocused my attention to that part. And Insight is doing very well in that area of the world. So, again, we get lost, in our head, what we think, is the right thing, and we don't really consider the full picture.
Yeah.
So how did you get
I had
that?
loads of advice. Well, to be honest, I didn't. That was the first failure of that business in terms of it just become expensive, end up selling off the machinery, and kind of I got a proper job, I had 2 children, one child at that stage. I had to make some money instead of the fluctuations that businesses can be, where some months you can have great times, other months you think, where's everyone gone?
Some stability required.
So I needed stability. So I sold off the machinery and the elements of that business and moved on with it. But I look back and I know where I went wrong. I know there was element. I see people doing stuff now with the same machinery I had, and I wish I had it back. But it was a case of that was then, and I realized my mistakes. So now it's about trying to step back every now and then, look at the full picture of what you're offering, your value, and where can you better place your efforts. If I'm as I was with the photo frame, I was really drumming it. This is what product I've done it like this, and people will have it. Because I was almost inflexible, but I spent so much money perfecting that small area that I was, beelined, which is great to be sometimes. It's just have that laser focus that, again, I think you have to step back and go,
you see,
there's something here isn't working. Do I keep pushing at it?
Just hitting your head on the wall and not getting. So
as a regret, my regret was at that time not stepping back. I've got past that now and moving on to other stuff. But it's a thing I always try to remember, that was a hard point. That it was a big lesson. That there's advice, as people talking, you can draw them all out and go, no, stop talking to me. This is what I'm doing. But you need to just listen sometime. Not everyone. People will pull you down, but generally just listen to things that make sense when they come about.
And then try and see which one makes sense to the direction you're going, rather than just being misdirected by everyone. Because there's lots of noise out there. Everyone has got an opinion.
Yes.
Even those who have never achieved anything in life has got an opinion on how you need to achieve nothing, like they have achieved nothing, which is the interesting thing about life.
But achievement is subjective. So what somebody's achievement is could be completely different.
No, but that's the thing. The thing is, people will tell you how to excel in an area that they have never ventured in.
Yes.
And you have no experience in that area. You've done nothing in that area, but you believe that you have the advice to tell someone who is trying that area on how to do it. So how do you decide who to listen to in those situations?
My people I listened to were probably people that I knew had my best interests.
Okay.
Or maybe as a consumer level, they may not have experience in selling in that area, but they certainly have experience in buying in that area. So though they don't have experience in your area, but they could potentially be a customer. They could have a viewpoint that you don't have if they were looking for your product or looking for what you sell, your service that you're selling. So it's they don't have the experience, or they may have a different viewpoint, but that's great. That's enriches your mindset when you listen to what they have to say, because they may have a nugget. 99% of it could be junk. But as I say, 99% of what I say could be junk. But it's just that one bit, that little tip that you go,
Picking out one message from it.
They may have something there. Can I explore that? Is there something in that? Could I pursue that area?
The point is, everything said, nothing is useless. It's just finding which one benefits you and holding on to that message in all of it and then running with it.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting. So let's come back to Insight. What advice do you have for Insight going forward in the future? How do you think we can take it to the next level?
I think all of it is about just professionalizing and improving and somewhat ensuring that your message is consistent. I think consistency is always going to be key. You can keep polishing everything and making it look really good, but your messaging, as long as it's consistent and you're consistently being that person that you think will help at the most people, then that will probably drive you through. It may take many years. A lot of people do. So every time you spend an hour on something that someone else hasn't spent an hour on, you're an hour ahead. Yeah, so if you keep pushing forward and you just keep being consistent, being that guy that's trying to spread a very, very familiar message to people and helping, I just think it's organic. Basically, the message I'm saying, just keep doing what you're doing, being organic, keep improving, keep on learning what you're doing. Contacts, having a vision, even writing down on boards where you want to be. It doesn't have to be follower account or anything like that. It could be, I want to do, as you want to do 4 tours next year.
Oh yeah, so next year we'll go into Jamaica, we'll go into Nigeria, we'll go into Sierra Leone. We've had an invitation from Sierra Leone for a live event. We're going to Ghana too, so we're going to 4 countries next year.
Yeah, so that's many more than you did this year. So with that ambition, and you know where you want to achieve, it's not so much like follower account or how much of the message you're getting across. Is you've got a target that is quite a smart objective, because from that you'll get the other. You'll get the followers, you'll get people hearing you, and I think that's probably the best advice you can have, is just keep having a physical target that you can aim for and just pursue it, whilst being consistent with the other messages.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Now, for
and
our
your
viewers,
website as well. Once that's set, done, it'd be really cool.
You manage that element of Insight. Now, for our viewers out there, what is the one message you want to leave them with today?
One message to leave?
Just one message to leave for our viewers. Something they will remember for.
Oh boy.
When we started, I always say, wisdom is the application of knowledge. Everyone who knows me knows that's my favorite quote. I have a friend who says, hard work will always beat talent when talent refuses to work hard. Now, what is the one message Fraser is known for? This is the fun of the podcast. We don't practice anything. We put you on the spot. It's organic.
Perseverance. In my mind, it's you'll never know when you'll strike something you love. So just sometimes just go with what feels right for you and what you enjoy doing. Eventually, you may stumble upon something that you can have a career in that can make an income for your family. I can't really boil it down into any set words, to be fair.
It's all right. So you don't have to have a fine-tuned set of words.
Bam. This is it.
A catchy set of words.
My marketing campaign, my slogan.
So perseverance is the key for Fraser. And out of perseverance, he's built an empire for himself. He owns his own business. He's doing very well. You call it small, but you see, that's the thing. So many years ago, when you look at where you are right now, because sometimes we make that little mistake of never looking back at where we're coming from. We just look at where we're going to. I remember back in school, a good friend of mine always used to say, we need to make good grades so we can work in a multinational company. That was the goal.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here today. I don't only work for a multinational company. I also own a multinational company. But if I keep looking at what I want to achieve and not look back at what I've achieved, you never understand. You just keep saying, "Oh, that's very small," but it's massive. Because if someone told me 20 years ago I'll be where I am today, doing what I'm doing today,
5 years ago.
yeah, I'll tell them it's a big lie. I would not believe it.
Yeah.
So if you look back at the Fraser of 20 years ago, do you think the Fraser 20 years ago would have comprehended the Fraser of today?
I'd have been 10. No, I think the Fraser even 5 or 6 years ago has a different viewpoint then as I do now. I realised in 5 years of hard work, like the first two or three of those years, I was doing
Laser focus.
80 hours a week doing 3 jobs, just trying to get debts in order to buy my first home, and that was tough. Britain is very expensive. Housing property is through the roof. So trying to get to that stage was very hard and took a lot of effort. So from that though, from succeeding and getting my property, then doing it, renovating it, and then filling it with nice stuff, and where I'm going to go in 5 years' time, I definitely got a view, but I think I now believe it's possible. Because of how much has changed from 5 years ago to now to 5 years in the future. I realise if you live your life in 5-year intervals, have a 5-year plan, you may excel in it. You may get further than you think, especially when you realise that having my own home was probably not on the cards if I kept myself thinking small and not doing the time or the hours, and just mindset change, realising that it is possible, and my next step is possible. I just got to keep applying myself.
The Book of Life says, write a vision, make it plain, that they may run and not faint.
Yeah.
You know, someone once said, by the miles it looks impossible, but by the yard, inch by inch, we'll achieve anything we set our heart to do.
It's 100% true.
Absolutely.
Step by step, you'll get there. But when you're there, you realize you don't. It happens.
You don't even remember how it happened because you're so busy walking that you don't realize.
Take pictures of your property as you renovate it, because hell, I spent hours standing down the door frames, putting new doors on and whatnot, and I can't even remember what they looked like before. So you kind of you know how much work went into it, but you don't really remember. You can't remember.
Absolutely,
memory's fickle.
Absolutely,
for the boring and hard stuff, you try to forget, but you don't. So you forget where you came from. That's probably a good message. It's just like generally, just you try
enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process, and sometimes it can be tough, but we have to be able to create some kind of record of where you came from to where you are now. Even that's in anything. Like even just making something look better. A new kitchen, renovating that, doing a lot of it yourself, and just seeing I can't remember what it was before. And that's a problem, because then you kind of forget how far you've come. So you might feel
it reminds you of you. That's key though, because the thing is, this is a 30 minutes podcast. I know, probably overshooting, but I'll tell you this. A couple of times, when I started doing my videos, then I look back at the initial videos. A lot of times, I feel like deleting them, but they are a good reminder to tell me where I started from and where I am, how much improvement I've made over the years. I still look at them like, oh God, my presentation was terrible. I was not myself. Who was watching this?
I look at some of my earlier work and I'm thinking, wow, God, I come far. Even when I first started doing the coffee packaging design and logos, your mind changes, you learn a little quickly, you get better, you start getting an eye for even different details you probably wouldn't have perceived before.
This will crack you up.
And it improves so much. I look at my first logo, it was terrible.
Yeah, by the way, Fraser designed the Insight logo. He came up with the idea, designed the logo. I remember back in the days where we started
quite a few different versions. Even then, I'd probably go to a path of simplifying it.
And that's the Insight logo. Now we have all branded content, t-shirts, face caps, mugs, all Fraser. It's all him.
Just to be different, try and have a logo that is different. But there's always improvements that you can make and various elements of that. We had very simple designs. Knowledge ultimately chose the one they wanted, but we were going in many different directions, and it was good. It's a process that was enjoyable. A lot of design work can be very enjoyable.
It's been amazing. See, every time I speak to you, I just never want to end the conversation because you inspire me I learn things from you. Thank you, my friend.
Yep.
It's nice having you. Hopefully we'll have you again soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully someday we can introduce the family to the audience and we can hear about the other part of Fraser.
Yeah.
How the missus is managing the home whilst you're working and chasing the dream.
Yeah.
It's been amazing knowing you, Fraser.
It's a
Thank
team.
you very much. As a teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork.
Thank you very much. I look forward to having you again. And I look forward to you supporting us, advising us, guiding us as we keep trying to reach our dream and change the world. Maybe hopefully in the next few years we can create a little dent in the world we live in.
Yeah, you're going to keep going on to do some great stuff.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us again once.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man.
Thank
you. Okay. Thank you very much. You've heard it from our number one, our very first guest at the Insight Podcast, Fraser, the man behind the scene, working tirelessly to make sure that our website is good, coming up with our logo, different suggestions guiding us. I hope this conversation has been insightful and inspiring to you. I hope that the aim of this podcast is that we'll bring things organically to you, not scripted, not practice. We'll just show you the other side of insight, the other side of knowledge, and the other side of our guest speakers, the everyday man, the everyday woman, the people who are actually making the difference in the world we live in.